Change your beliefs to change your life. Hi, today's topic is all about your beliefs. How do you form them and how do you change them to then align yourself to the future vision that you have for yourself? Hi, my name is Dr. Meghana Dikshit. I'm the author of the book You Matter and founder of Rewire. I want to talk to you about the beliefs today. But before we start changing our beliefs, we must know, where do you form your beliefs from? So what happens is, when a child is born, you're born with a body, you're born with a hardware. So till the age of 7 years, you collect a lot of information from your environment. Your brain is processing 40,000 bits of data every single moment. Can you believe that? Like everything that's happening in your environment, like the people that what they speak, maybe the movies that you watch, or maybe the things that you listen to, everything that you see, hear, smell, taste and feel registers in your brain as an information. And every information that your 5 senses gather then starts creating the raw material for your future. Everything that goes in your brain creates the ingredient for your software. You're born with a hardware. Till the age of 7 years, you are developing the software to run this hardware. And imagine whatever you heard, smelled, tasted, or whatever was there in your space till the age of 7 years, you're not even aware of. Do you agree with me that, till the age of 7 years, we don't have the power? Somebody else is controlling our life, isn't it? So when somebody else is controlling your life, how they think, how they feel, how they act, everything gets registered in your brain. Every child perceives people in their life, the adults in their life, as their role models, because you haven't seen anything beyond that. Till the time you go to school, all the people around you in your life, or whatever you are exposed to, is your role model. And you know what? You don't know. Maybe at this point of time, you have a great vision for yourself. You want to achieve a lot of success in your life. But whatever happened as a child, you don't even remember now. You'll say, but Dr. Meghana, I don't even remember till the age of 7 years what happened in my life. I'm sure you don't. Some of you may remember because there must be some significant events that may have happened in your life that left the impact on you. And that impact has then created the software for you. Now, let's look at how do you create those beliefs in your life. So for you to have any belief in your space, there has to be 3 specific events you will have to go through that are going to give you that belief for yourself, that conditioning for yourself. Let's look at these 3 events that might have happened in your life. I'm just going to give you an example about it. Like the first event happened where you went to ask for something. Like think about it, like you're a baby and you're just crawling and there is a warm, or hot iron kept there. And you're just crawling, you don't know, you want to touch that hot iron and you go there to touch it, and at that exact moment your mom sees you. And then she shouts, stop, don't do it. You see, and when she does that, you automatically feel, you look at your mother. For now, what happens in your space is like you trusted this person. You felt that this person is loving me, this person is caring for me, and suddenly I want this really, really amazing thing which is right in front of me. And she's asking me not to take it. Bam. Now you may think, like an adult, it looks like such a stupid thing to think about, right? But as a child, think from a child's perspective. Like you're barely crawling, like you're a 7-8 month old baby, and when your mother who loves you and cares you, or you perceive that I can trust this person, suddenly tells you to not do it. That's the first dent that goes in your brain. That makes you feel, can I trust this person? You see, it's a very small, minute thing, but you are forming your software at that point of time, and that software is telling you now that I don't know if this is right or this is wrong, right? Then the second event happens. The second event could be like, you now are a little grown up and you want to put your hand on the socket, electricity socket, because you see, all the children are so curious, right? You want to put your hand on the electricity socket, or maybe you want to go touch that insect and, pick it up and put it in your mouth. And at that exact moment, your father sees you or your mother sees you again and says, no, this is not right. Don't do it. Like, from far away, they are shouting at you and you're like feeling, oh God, this is second time. All this is happening so subtly in your space that it may look like it's so silly right now when you grow up, like, okay, I love my mother and my mother did the exact, she did the right thing at that moment. But when you are young, you don't understand these things. And your software of your brain is developing based on these experiences. Now you see, the child's perspective is, I want to touch that socket. I'm so curious to pick up that moving insect. And this person who loves me is not allowing me to enjoy that, not allowing me to get that pleasure. Immediately the pain pops up in your space, right? Your mother is depriving you of pleasure and making you go through the pain. Second time, it created a certain belief in your space now that, the emotional attachment that you had for that event is painful. And then you start thinking inside that, maybe she doesn't really love me. Or maybe I'm not good enough to get that insect. It's not for me. It's probably that I am not capable, or maybe I am not good enough to get this. That's why my mother shouts at me. Then you grow up, like, the third event that happens. Something like this only. Maybe you are just growing up and, something which is like maybe there's a hot cup of coffee kept or hot cup of milk kept. And you're growing there and you go and try to pick it up. Now, once again, your mother shouts because she's trying to protect you. But as a child, you're perceiving, I want to see what it is. It's such an amazing thing that I want to go grab it. But my mother is asking me not to do it. Bam, the third event. One after another, when you experience this similar event, it created a certain emotional intensity in your space. And finally, it may result into, maybe I'm not lovable. Maybe I'm not good enough for my mother. How can I please my mother so that she allows me to do the things that I want to do? You start cooking up these stories in your space and you start creating the foundational beliefs in your space. Now, it could be a negative or it could be a positive belief. Not necessarily everything. I'm just giving an example about a negative belief. There could be a positive belief also. Like suppose you did something like, you were young and, you kind of walked. And you see, your first time you walked and how your father, your mother reciprocated to that walk. They clapped for you, they clicked the pictures, they called their family members and they told them, hey, you know what, this was, you started walking. And that reciprocation to your walk made you feel amazing about yourself. It helped you to take the next step. Now, suppose that was like, you're walking, then there could be an incident where you started actually reading your first sentence, or maybe you started talking your first syllable, or you called out mother. You call whatever you call your mother. Now that was another celebration event in your space that created like, wow, I can do this. I'm capable of doing this. And then the next event happened, like, you went to school, or probably you won a race, or maybe you simply performed in front of people, like children, we were asked to perform in front of people and you sang a song, or maybe you recited a poetry and everybody clapped for you. That registered as a positive event in your space. That made you feel, I can do this. My memory is good. Everything that happens in your space. And the meaning that you attach to that event, that meaning generates the emotion in your space. And the quality of your emotions are very, very critical for the quality of your life. Now you see, when you form a negative belief or a positive belief, and depending on how many negative beliefs you have about yourself, about the world, and how many positive beliefs you have about yourself and about the world, what happens is you ultimately start developing your attitude. Your attitude, your personality is made up of the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act. Now, based on all this raw material that you have, you go and interact with the world. And if you have the negative belief, the bank of negative beliefs is more than the positive ones, you develop a certain kind of a pessimistic attitude towards the world and your life. And then you start seeing, because the world is nothing else but the reflection, the mirror of who you are. If you see whatever is you're experiencing as a reality is a reflection. It's like a mirror which is reflecting what you have inside you. Think about it, that you're standing in front of the mirror And whoever you are, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you, act, the way your beliefs are, the way your conditioning is, you're just simply positioning it or imposing it in the world outside. And that reflection itself will now start creating your reality. So it's like, self-sustaining loop that you have created now, whether it's negative or it's positive. Let me know in the comment box, what is your general idea of your life? How do you feel once you listen to all of these that I'm sharing with you? What are some of the events that are coming to you? What are some of the things that you're remembering right now about your life? And go deeper in your space right now, because before changing your beliefs, which I'm going to tell you how to do it right now, but before you start changing this reality or before you start changing yourself within, you must dive deeper at this point of time to see what is it that you have started believing in your life. Do you generally have a pessimistic approach towards life, or do you have an optimistic approach towards your life? And based on this, if you have a pessimistic approach, you're going to see that the results that you, like, no matter how good you have the intentions, how great heart you have, how hardworking you are, but if you have an image inside you which is pessimistic, you are going to create the negative results in your space. So how do you start changing your approach towards changing your beliefs so that you can start changing your life? How can you start aligning your beliefs with the future that you want in your life? Because all of us have a certain vision of life. We all are living two lives inside us, right? One, the life that you're living right now, and the life that you want to live. Everybody has these two lives. Like, everybody has that dream life that you want to achieve. Now you got to check within yourself, the dream life that you want to achieve. Are your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions aligned to that dream life? In 24 hours, how many times are you in that dream life in your space? And how many times are you in your current reality? Whatever you're feeling right now, that your reality is creating the imposition on you about your beliefs. But the truth is, when you were young, you created these beliefs inside you, and so the reality was created. So then, if you really want to change your life, the most critical aspect that you need to change is how you think and how you feel. Because the quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts and the quality of your emotions. So I hope by now you have written down some of the beliefs that you have about yourself. And then how do you start changing them? I'm going to give you 4 questions here to ask yourself every time you're doing this belief work. Remember, it's a process. It cannot happen overnight. It may take a week, it may take a month, it may take a year, it may take a couple of years. It depends on what is the bank of beliefs that you have. The higher the degree of negative beliefs, the more time it's going to take. So if you start questioning every belief with these 4 questions, you will be able to start changing your life. So get your pen and paper ready, and let me give you the insights of how can you start strategically changing your life. The first question for you is, whenever you look at the event that has happened in your life, in the past or maybe in current reality, let's take an example of, suppose you're working on a deal that was going to give you 10 lakh rupees. You did really, really well. Everything went so smooth, and now just the deal is supposed to come to you. But in the last moment, something happened and it didn't come. Now, when that disappointing event happened, you got to ask yourself this first question. What label I'm giving to this event? As I said, this is a disappointing event. But what is the label that you're giving to? Are you talking about it as a disappointing event? Are you talking about I'm not lucky? Are you talking about I never get these opportunities? This always happens to me. What is your inner conversation about whatever happened to you in that moment? Write that inner conversation. Write what are you talking to yourself? That's your first question. The second question that you need to ask yourself is, can this be a blessing in disguise? Like, suppose that deal would have come through. Maybe it would have taken a lot of time and energy from your space. Maybe that client would have been really not so good with you. Maybe they would have given you some critical feedback or whatever. I mean, maybe it would have taken a toll on your health. What can be a blessing in disguise for that deal to not come to you? The third question that you need to ask yourself is, can I accept this event as a blessing in disguise? And the fourth question that you need to ask is, what's the possibility, or what is a potential possibility? Or how can I reframe this event as a blessing in disguise? So come up with some inner dialogues, some inner conversations that makes you feel that this is a blessing in disguise. If you look at your life, and when you look at hindsight on the events that may have happened in your life in the past, there are so many events in our life actually come up as blessing in disguise, right? I'm sure you have those events in your life. And this event is also going to be like that in the future. When you look back, you start connecting the dots about those events that have happened. Because what you need to primarily understand is the way you look at this event and the meaning that you attach to this event is going to form your belief. So now you have to be more conscious. You have to be more aware about your inner dialogue about this event. You don't want to accumulate more negative beliefs. So then, how can you start accumulating more positive beliefs? And the way you look at this event is going to create that, whether you're going to have the more negative or more positive. Remember, more positive means better life and better results. So let me know in the chat box, let me know in the comment box, what are your views right now? How are you going to change? How are you going to apply these 4 questions? Pick up an event in your life. Apply these 4 questions. Spend some time with these 4 questions. It may take you 10, 15, 20 minutes to do this, but do it. And in detail, let me know in the comment box, how did you reframe the meaning of this event that happened in your life? How are you not going to get affected by what happened in your life in the past, so that you can create a bright future for yourself? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video and share if you care.